You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream, this is AfterBuzz TV for the real world San Diego. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest real world San Diego news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AfterBuzz TV for the real world San Diego.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
Yo, what up, AfterBuzz? This is your boy DJ Jesse Janedy here.
I always be talking with my hands, so one day if I get mad at you, my hand might just be coming this way.
Now, Nicolette, no one knows what the hell you're talking about. We just got live on air, and you sitting here talking about your hand doing what?
Okay.
What was you saying, Jesse, for you was interrupted?
I said, yo, what up, AfterBuzz? This is your boy DJ Jesse Janedy here in the AfterBuzz TV studio. Nehemiah can't hear us. All right, so we have some technical difficulties.
Oh, is that why? Oh, so I've been talking this whole time, and we're live?
Oh, good. I can't with her. We're going to shut her mic off. That's Nicolette Nehemiah from the real world. But we have some special guests in the studio. Let's go to our normal co-host. We got Sir Frank Sweeney in the house.
What's up? What's up? What's up, Jesse? How you doing?
Chilling. How are you?
I'm all right.
That was a little sexy.
Is that your sex voice?
Nah.
It should be.
What's up, Jesse?
What's up, Jesse?
Sitting next to Frank Sweeney, we have the one, the only Leroy Garrett.
Yeah, what's happening, Jesse?
All right, ladies, across from him, we have Alex Govere.
Hi, Jesse.
All right. See you.
I figure it's a trend.
I'm on the hotline, so ready? Priscilla, you're new here. We welcome you very much. Now let's hear your sexy voice.
How you doing tonight? Nipples. Can I say nipples?
Yes, you can.
We've already seen them so much.
Hungry.
Very much. All right, so Leroy, I'm going to actually throw this over to you really quick while I take care of Nicolette and Nehemiah's headsets. What do we see tonight?
Some everything. You know what? We seen the final last episode, which was sad. Following behind it, I didn't even know y'all was gonna have the shit they should have shown show. But we seen that, the charity event, which was dope. We're gonna get into talking about that. We're gonna get into talk about you running around naked with your boobs out.
Yo, those naked cartwheels are gonna be famous.
Yeah, making
forever,
out
bro.
with your moms.
I love
What?
a woman.
She did what? Was there incest on the real world?
Maybe a couple times.
Just a little bit, though.
A couple times.
The
Jesus.
sisters with Sam.
There was no tongue. Oh, wait, no, there was tongue.
I damn near wanted to cry though
goodness.
for the last episode. Like looking at that brought me back to real world Las Vegas.
Yeah, I was wiping Leroy's
I'm
tears
pretty
back
sure
there.
Nehemiah would feel the same way, but he over there.
Yeah. It's
Flirting.
weird. It's weird watching the last episode because
Doing
it
his
makes
thing.
everything seem so surreal. Like suddenly it starts to look like a dream to you, and you're like, really, we live there, and it seems so far away now.
Y'all did 3 months, right?
3 months, yeah.
And now I can't even go back to La Jolla or Pacific Beach. I'm like, no, it's not cool anymore. It's empty.
So that's my question. Do you still go back by the old house?
Literally,
did, yeah.
only if Frank or Sam or somebody is in town with me. I mean, otherwise, I feel like there's nothing there for me anymore.
We went back to the house and some like Mexican, sorry Priscilla,
Yeah.
maid came up and talking. She was
Yeah,
like,
Mexican too.
hola, no sé cómo estás.
And we were like talking to her in
Dum
Spanish.
dang when we die.
What?
You
How
see,
was
Manny?
your I didn't see your last episode. Was yours sad? Was everyone crying?
I was because my homeboy got killed. I mean, people was crying a little bit, but like, all right, last episode while we
You
was
had
there,
that cute
everybody was
sleepover.
everybody was like hooking up.
Really?
For real, straight up. Everybody like put the beds on the on
Well, I don't
the
wanna-
bowling alley.
Yeah, see. Yeah.
I don't want to put
hooked up
Alex
that
on
night?
blacks, but yeah, we hooked up on the last night.
Really?
Oh my God. They just didn't show it.
Alex, I was about
you
to say, because I gave
Yeah.
you props, for
AfterBuzz
lasting
TV
the whole
exclusive.
season. And being in your relationship still. There was a lot of real worlds that somebody would come on with the boyfriend, girlfriend, they end up cheating or
think
something.
that
And she
we
waited
were-
to the last night, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think actually we were the second couple to ever make it through The Real
Yeah,
World.
that's awesome.
And I think the first, I don't know who the first
That's
couple
only
was.
because I wasn't on y'all
but
season.
even that couple, there was cheating.
Would've never lasted.
Right. And that's why I was like, I gave you props for that. I
Thank
just
you.
thought about that.
It would have been a very different summer if I.
If Leroy was there.
If Leroy was there.
Yeah.
Another deck of cards.
Predator.
All right, so we'll talk about making babies after the show. Let's talk about
Yeah, let's
the
do that.
first episode. We had
Over it.
two episodes. Number one, we started with the It Gets Better Foundation. This foundation is your foundation. You
I
are
had
part
beca-
of it.
yeah,
I know
I
it's
got-
not yours, obviously, but
Yeah, no, I own it. I became involved with them just because I had talked to a few people from the organization that I had met previously through like interviews and things like that, and wanted to get them involved with Nate's charity just to be a little more inclusive to the LGBT community because the suicide rate in the LGBT community is 5 times higher than for straight kids. So it's a big deal, and it's really relevant to Nate's charity, and I wanted to open his eyes to a lot of this and show him that like it's prevalent across sexuality, gender, race, all that stuff. And so I wanted to get them involved in any way I could.
Now, did you bring that up to him before he was hammered, trashed, emceeing, or did you feel like, you know what, hey, this is the best time to bring it up while you guys were doing the show?
No, we had talked about it a lot of times before. This was Nate and my event. We had worked on it for weeks. I mean, they don't show any of the planning because it's boring. Like, who wants to see me and Nate sitting at a computer? But we had planned this for
Nobody.
weeks. You know, Leroy wants to see it, but
Nobody wants to see
no. But no, we worked really hard, and we were, we put a lot into this event. Actually, we were in Mexico for the time that we were planning most of the event, which was awful because we were trying to send emails from Mexico. It was like $10 a minute for internet. It was rough.
They
but,
charge y'all?
Yeah.
Wow.
My people need money.
All right. What?
What part of Mexico was y'all in?
Cabo.
Because you guys went to Mexico too, right?
Yeah, because it's cheap. BMP's getting cheap, so
I
they're
was
sending us to
wondering that.
Mexico.
But no.
Damn.
But what made Nate want to get so drunk that night?
Because he gets drunk every night.
Yeah, he
Nate-
gets
But
drunk
I
every
understand that.
night.
But like for an important event like that, why do you want to get so,
Nate was
Because that's
stressed.
his
Nate was
habit.
stressed, and
Over
like
what?
Zack and Ashley had screwed him over with a lot of the ticket sales, and all the rest of us had participated in like getting items for the silent auction that we put together. They didn't put anything together. Nate was taking out his stress with those two on everybody else, and so he was just like, "Fuck it, I'm done with it. I'm just gonna drink." And it was inappropriate only because his job was over. In all fairness, his job was over. He put his effort into organizing the event, but he needed to stay sober for the announcements, for the information booth, for his
And
organization.
just to represent his organization.
Right, exactly.
Well.
Like this is supposed to be his label. That's what he says, right? He says this label is so important to him, but he got hammered, and when he was supposed to talk about it, he was, he sounded like
who's got school tomorrow?
he sounded like, yeah.
Well,
Where did that even come from?
Yeah, I think he had watched a few WWF videos. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right. yeah.
like when the
taking-
band went on, he was like, bitter, sober.
Like,
He's
my
taking
7-year-old brother watches that.
life lessons from the Miz, past.
I met him yesterday, actually.
So I want to ask you a question as far as Ashley was concerned, because, I was kind of not paying attention at the beginning, but I heard Ashley make the comment of, I want to sell these tickets for my friend because he really believes in this cause. And she was really amped about it. Did you feel any ways in the sense of, for Pride, there was something that you and Sam were both really believed in and, wanted to fight for, and she made that comment about this as far as
She wasn't referring to that. She was referring to Nate. Yeah,
Right.
She thought that this event, as many times as I could relay it to her, she thought that this event was for Nate's charity. It wasn't. It was for It Gets Better. And what they don't show is that there was literally like a 2-hour debate about whose T-shirts we're gonna wear, Nate's or It Gets Better. And Nate threw a hissy fit about everyone wearing his T-shirts.
He had an event at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's really stupid because this event, all the money, we raised $5,000 in a week, which is pretty good. We raised $5,000 in a week for It Gets Better. Nate, and this, I understand that like Nate's charity had an information booth, and it was about, but it really wasn't about that. It was about It Gets Better, and Zack and Ashley were not wearing their T-shirts, and Nate threw a hissy fit about wearing anything that had to do with It Gets Better instead of Living Memoir. It was a mess, actually. Like the whole planning of everything was a mess, and so the fight you see between Nate and I was more of a misunderstanding about what the event was about, who did what, about him getting drunk. We knew he was going to get drunk. I mean,
Right.
Nate drinks all the time. We knew he was going to get drunk.
Really, I can't tell.
Yeah,
They didn't
You can't tell because he's not sober.
because he's always drunk. But they didn't really show it. But Frank wound up doing most of the work to plan the event, and then the work after the event, where he had to then contact everybody who won at the auction, and had to, at the end of the event, he was the one there putting everything away because Nate was gone. So I feel like they didn't even show enough of how much Frank really put into it.
And I was puking the whole time.
I think it did come through a little bit, because when I watched it just from a viewer standpoint, I was like, not only did you handle yourself very well, but you were able to complete everything that needed to be completed with all of the obstacles being thrown at you. So I wanted to say congratulations, because it was a good event. Just watching it.
It was great.
It was really successful.
Really
the hard thing was just like, like telling Nate, like, yo, I'm on your side on this. Like, you can get drunk, do your thing, I'll take over, but just don't, like, stop stressing out and stop blaming things on other people. Like, I'm on your side. And it was just not going through. That's the one thing about Nate when he gets drunk. It's a smile and nothing else. That's
I think one thing that America can agree on watching the show, that we've seen a lot of growth out of you from episode 1 till now.
Yeah, do I look grown?
No, not like that. But no, I mean, like, for real, like, the first couple fights you used to get in, you used to be breaking shit and acting a fool.
No, you're
so
right. You're right.
I think everybody loves Frank
I
San
say the
Diego.
most
Frank
growth,
Diego.
really.
Thank you.
So then let me ask you this. Now actually watching it, how do you feel your growth is?
I mean, I don't want to, like, you put me on blast a little bit. I don't know.
No. Tell the man. Answer the damn question.
I really did grow up a lot. I mean, this was my first stepping stone out of college. And I've said on the AfterBuzz before, I've said in my interviews before, where I went to school and when I grew up, I didn't have any consequences ever. I would walk home naked from the bar. Like, no one gave a shit. Like, I mean, there was no consequences ever. And I come into the house where a lot of people were grown differently. They grew up differently than I did. And they had consequences. And they, like, yelling was a big deal. Fighting was a big deal. I never, like, my parents are Sicilian. We fought all the time, and then we got over it 2 seconds later.
Exactly.
But I came into a house where a lot of people didn't understand that, and I did grow up, and that's without, like, I'm not canonizing myself or anything like that, but I did grow up a lot, and I will never forget the real world for that.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
do you feel like you found yourself throughout, like, the whole real world experience?
Yeah, I think it's under construction, but yeah, I mean, I still do stupid stuff all the time. All of us do, though. And I'm about to do stupid things tonight.
I never do anything.
Jesse, I'm looking at you.
I never do anything stupid.
And adding on to that, we saw you sit down with a therapist on the show, and you said, I know a few episodes here at AfterBuzz back, you said that they really helped you. Are you still seeing a therapist?
I'm not now.
Is that something that
because I got Alex, who should be a licensed therapist.
I actually want to be.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you really?
Yeah, I really do. If I go back to school, that's what I want to go back to school for.
That's awesome.
Once again, the most accomplished person ever did the real world. Now she wants to be a therapist, and she's going to be a basketball player, too. You're taking away from everything that I want to do.
Basketball's never going to happen for me.
Just wear your draft heels.
Because, like,
hey, you know what? Make out with me, and it'll be like you're doing stuff.
Can we see this happen, please?
mean,
can we get an AfterBuzz exclusive?
I mean,
Leroy and Alex making out.
I know.
by the end of the show tonight, I want to make out scene between Leroy and Alex.
All
I'm
When you do something like that.
Guys, we got a lot to cover here.
We do it. What?
Frank, you also called your mom, and I know at the beginning of the season you kind of had some issues with your family back home.
You called your mama B, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Was that you?
I'll call my mama.
Yeah.
I remember Leroy. No, fuck you. I saw that tweet.
I remember too.
I saw that tweet about that.
Yeah, I was like, man,
I saw that tweet about that. Listen.
If I dare call my mom a bitch, she would hit me.
I would get slapped. I would get slapped.
No, wait.
Listen,
It wasn't
listen.
even just the B where he's like, sometimes you could be an F and B. I was like, whoa.
Yo.
I watched that one with you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I saw those tweets about that. I saw those
There's no excusing.
No. Listen,
You guys
Frank.
throw around those curse words.
I've never heard.
Nothing.
I've never heard.
Would
someone
never
talk to
happen
their
in the
parents
African-American
like that.
family.
I've never heard their
It's
reason.
because
saying
we're
I'm not
black.
black?
It's because we're black. We would get
You
hit.
saying I'm not black?
Right off the bat.
I can't even call my mom dumb. I would get hit.
Please,
We
I'll
can't
have
even think
explanation.
it. We can't even think it.
Like, you-
They're like, "What you thinking about?" I'm like, I'm looking around. I'm like, no, you can't even look at them in the eye when they get mad at you.
Listen, my
I have
family.
a chipped tooth, and I'm not going to tell you how I got it.
All right. So, you guys, this was your last episode. The last night before you guys left, you all jumped into the pool and you did this thing called the Kreb Circle. Where did that come from?
It was a combination between Frank and I in Mexico.
Cabo.
Frank was in the pool just doing this in place, and I was
He's
like,
like, "I'm a
what if
crab.
we do that in a circle?
crab."
I don't know where it came from,
A
but
crab circle. What was weird about it was that Zack and Ashley didn't even get in the pool with y'all. Like, y'all was that separated even towards the last day of y'all being there?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No,
I mean, there was it was very clearly 5 and 2 the whole
last,
time.
maybe even not even the last, the 2 months of the show after the first month, I don't think we ever really saw them or hung out with them much.
Really?
Well, but Leroy, you know, it's like the challenge. The same way there'd be people in the challenge house where you don't talk to them at all, and then there's some people who you kick it with all the time. So,
but the thing is that it's not the challenge. We're not there to compete. We're there to get to know each other. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree with that.
But even if we fight, you don't really see any fights between us either. They didn't give us anything.
I mean, the thing is, I feel like as roommates, at least we could have hung out once in a while, but it came to a point where we'd even just be like, hey guys, want to come to the beach with us? Or hey, let's all have dinner one night.
No,
it wasn't even like
Dustin and Heather was like that on our season. They were always together.
Danny and Melinda on our season.
When it's like a couple, they're always just all booed up.
Did they not do anything with you?
But the thing is, they at least like talk to you guys. You know, I mean, people are always
Dustin
like,
and Heather never really spoke at all.
Never.
Really?
They
were always like, oh, Priscilla, you're the DD. Like, what did you do Home Alone? It's like, I wasn't Home Alone. Zach and Ash didn't go out with anyone, so they were there. You know what I mean?
But what was that like for you, Priscilla? Did you get a little bit closer than the rest of them?
I feel like I was close to them at the time, and then I also would be like, wow, I can't hang out with one of them without being with the other, why do I want to be there anyways? I wouldn't hang out with them because it's like,
what would you do? Like, I mean, what would you do since you couldn't go out with them?
I mean, well, I was never home alone. If I was, it's like I'd drop them off at 11, be home at 11:30, and I had to be there by like 12:45. You know,
I was usually there too.
We didn't go out every night either. We didn't.
Yeah.
I stayed home a lot with you.
Alex was home all the time, so we'd like.
Me too.
Jacuzzi.
So never went out.
So was it like a Budem and Murray thing where they didn't allow you to drink because you weren't 21?
Right. I wasn't allowed to drink. I was not allowed to have a fake ID. I was not allowed to get snuck into places.
But when you did drink, you wowed out.
Imagine what the summer would have been like if Priscilla could drink the whole time.
How many more hand jobs would I have gotten?
Priscilla.
Let's talk about that, Priscilla. Let's talk about that hand job, Priscilla. Come on, Priscilla. Give them what they want. Let's talk about that hand job.
You by far was the wildest person on the season.
And we didn't even get to see it.
We didn't get to see it till you got to Cabo. And then,
we had to call up our sleeve and I mean, believe me, they would have been the first ones to like try and get me into places and do things if they could.
We always
just couldn't because
I couldn't even imagine doing the show at 19. How old were you when you did the show?
19.
Y'all was allowed to drink?
Yeah. In the house, but as long as they didn't show,
they were allowed to have fake IDs.
I was
really,
and this is the first season. They said you
after
can't do
Skins.
that.
Oh, we were man.
See, Real World Austin. That was what? That was like 2005.
No way.
Man. I was in everywhere.
So I got screwed over with that one. I really did.
But they didn't allow people after like the third week. They didn't allow people who weren't 21 to drink in the house, and that was it.
Yeah, and that's the thing because I got a call too, and they're like, "Look, this is what's happening. This is very recent. It's what's changing. Would you still want to be on the show?" And I'm like, "Well, of course. I'm not gonna be like, skip out on the side." And then Frank got in the shower, and I liked his little wing. Big
little?
Wing. Sorry.
Oh, you said little.
All right. Jesus.
AfterBuzz is
I'm actually really glad.
I talk about Nate and Frank's big win on our shit show. So.
Well, Priscilla, I want to talk about the night you did get drunk. It was the first night, right? First or second night?
I don't know.
Can't remember.
You can't remember?
It was the first
night. It was the first night.
Can I say that?
You ended up.
You can.
That girl fell down.
Well, we saw it on TV. We saw it on TV.
Yeah.
And you ended up hooking up with Nate.
Yeah,
let's talk about that.
A mistake.
Yeah, that was so random.
Yeah, I know. I get drunk and I
Frank made it seem like he raped her. I can't believe.
Yo, Priscilla.
All right, guys, stop. You guys, we gotta stop talking over each other.
You are in the studio. Defend me on
what?
On Nate. And you hooking up, did you not come to me and tell me that he forced it on you?
See, that's the thing, is like, it did feel
you one of them type of girls that like to lie. We know this.
I was
liked it in a moment.
Let me
bullshit dollar.
Let me point out that, we were both, whatever, you get drunk, you make out. I get drunk and I love to make out. I'm sorry, I do. And at the time, I'm just like, okay, what's going on? And then Nate's kind of like jumps at me in his drunken stupor, and I'm just like, what's going on? And I didn't like it. It was aggressive. It was aggressive.
What did you say to me, though? You said it was aggressive.
Exactly. I told him it was, but I also said I was surprised.
Your story,
but you also
listen,
kissed
Priscilla,
him back.
your story is way too expensive, and nobody's buying it. Nobody's buying that story.
I bought it. Unfortunately, I did. I'm sensitive about that kind of thing. I'm sensitive.
Well, you know what we didn't buy, especially Nicolette did not buy. We met an ex-boyfriend of yours.
Right.
Who
Priscilla.
ex-boyfriend? Oh.
Priscilla, we
The
met an
redhead.
ex-boyfriend.
Oh, my
of yours.
ex-
Redhead.
Oh,
You like him red.
So I'm gonna shoot this over to
Yeah.
Nicolette and let Nicolette handle this conversation because she had a lot to say about this
Wasn't he a
situation.
beat it nerd?
I mean, Priscilla, when he walked through that door, I was like, what
Beat
the
it, nerd.
hell is this girl doing with this
Beat it.
I know.
little boy? I'm like, hold on. I was expecting like this.
The way he rolled up was deceiving on the
nice
motorcycle.
chin,
It was like, oh, he's
like,
gonna
I'm
be
like,
hot.
okay.
Beat it, nerd. Beat
She's
it,
like all
nerd.
up on this
Beat
dude.
it,
He's
nerd.
about to be so
Beat it, nerd.
fine.
I know.
Yo, what's up,
And he
Script?
walks
What
in.
up,
I was
Priscilla?
like, girl, you do not need to be hung up on that man.
Have you
know,
never
see, that's
ever
the
been
thing,
attracted
like-
to a nerdy guy though?
See, that's my problem. Is like I think Dylan is so hot.
I
Like,
just-
do.
I'm with
and
her.
it's like if you put like a big
And
football
he's cute.
player, i.e.
Hey,
Zack,
you know
in
what?
front of
To
me, I'm like,
each his
ew.
own. To each his own.
Yeah.
we
Priscilla,
like
we gotta
nerdy
get
white
clown you.
boys.
No,
We
really.
love nerdy
You know,
white
like
boys.
I can appreciate, you know,
about
a
nerdy
model
black
from
boys?
afar.
Right.
Right. I mean, it just wasn't what
red.
I was expecting. So we all were kind of like,
I know that's what anyone was expecting.
I sent him a
But-
free
Hey,
t-shirt. I was like, you know what?
I'd
I was like, you know
never
what,
hear-
bro?
I'd
I'm gonna give you a t-shirt for free. Beat it.
So what's your situation with him
NERD.
as
yeah.
far as now?
Well, yeah. What's going on?
I mean, you hooked up with him on the show, which we saw twice. Unless,
Yeah, which is bullshit.
although I was
'cause
confused.
waited like a whole 3 weeks or a month or something to do that, and they're like,
Dylan,
"Oh, day one, hi, welcome back, come down here." No, that didn't happen.
Eat it.
But then you kicked
Yeah.
him. Why, both nights you hooked up with him, you kicked him out right afterwards.
Yeah, I just felt like in general.
All right, guys.
clap.
Come
in
on.
general, I wanted things to be very much on my terms, and yeah, I mean, whatever. We're all guilty of it. Like, I didn't know what I wanted, and I didn't know how I wanted
No,
to go
you knew
about
what you
it.
wanted.
Priscilla, I promise it was on
Yeah,
your
you
terms. She
wanted
was
it,
like,
girl.
girl, this on my
Yeah,
terms.
so
He did your laundry, massaged your feet.
See?
Hey, that okay. That
were perks,
That's
those were
perks.
perks.
That
now I
was some
have to ask.
perks.
Now
That
I
was
have
some
to ask.
perks.
He is a
Why?
certified
Now-
nerd.
Now let me ask: is that why you like white nerdy boys?
No,
Is that do your laundry?
Cause you know what we do. I'm like, yo,
Hey,
hey, make me a sandwich. Can you
Oh
get
my
me a
gosh.
sandwich or something?
no, but again,
A
because
bologna sandwich? She's like, we don't even have bologna. Well, get a peanut butter and jelly on the double.
With some waffle
and
fries,
they made me
bitch.
brownies and cookies.
And you bet not have, and you bet not have no brothers.
We'll have little orangutan children, like brown with red hair.
So let's talk about the goodbyes. We'll move on from this subject.
Can I say one thing though?
Go ahead.
I'm actually glad that you couldn't drink all summer because I love and respect you so much. I don't want people seeing your boobs all the time.
The fuck, Alex?
I'm sorry.
About
I
my
know.
wiener.
I want to keep these in.
We didn't
I
want the
keep 'em in.
Statue of
She's the only
Liberty.
one.
I think we need to make the Statue of Liberty like an official.
AfterBuzz thing.
Oh no.
Yeah. All right, there we
Nice.
go, guys.
No, you have
guys
to do
get
the
it.
freedom. You have to do the actual Statue of Liberty pose.
Look at that.
Hey, what was that?
Thank
what was
God
that?
for
Half
Mexico.
Dick was like, that's a titty.
God bless Mexico.
That's a titty right there. That's a titty right there.
This bra barely covers
Well,
my
actually,
nipple. They
I want.
Los
Speaking,
Dioses Santos, Mexico.
wait. Speaking of titties, so we've heard that your grandfather has quite some money, and I heard that he gave you guys, your mother, and somebody else,
my aunt,
your aunt,
My other aunt?
an amazing gift, which was
breasts.
when you were 18.
He bought
Now-
you some titties.
They're for my 18th birthday. Yeah.
So that was obviously before, right? Because you were 19 on the Real World.
Right. Right. So it was when I turned 18.
So your family is crazy, girl.
Well, no, it's just like I didn't get the genetics of having breasts, nor did my mother, my aunt.
That
or my
doesn't make you.
grandma.
Neither did I.
That doesn't make you less of a woman because you got small breasts.
Well, yeah, but since I was 15, I'm like, "Mamá, quiero tetas," and so she like gave them to me.
What's that mean? Say it in English.
I want titties.
I want tits,
Oh,
and I got them.
Really, right?
It's like the best
Quiero
thing I've ever
tetas?
done in my life.
I don't know.
Well, was it better than actually the at the house party making out with your mother and Sam? Like, what was that experience like?
You know, I just feel like
How do
I
you
don't-
look back at that? And
My family's very eccentric. We're very close
They're
and
like
knit.
cavemen making out with
And-
moms and having sex with dad.
I don't know. Mom was
Easy.
drunk. Sam was drunk. Sam's like got swag. I can't really explain it. It's like something that wasn't on my bucket list, but I checked off anyway.
No. Right afterwards, she goes, I could check that off my bucket list. We're like,
Making out with your
that's
mom
on
is
your
on your
bucket
bucket
list.
list.
Yeah, Priscilla, you were in it for the Crazy Cube the whole summer. You're
Yeah.
like,
Get the
weird.
Crazy Cube inside
And how's
me.
your and are you and your mom closer now?
Right? They had a date
Very
last
much
night.
so. Oh my God. I've
Took it
always
to the
been-
next level.
No, I've always been unusually close with her. I mean, I sit.
Shut up! Use the word.
Oh, yeah. Nah,
Listen.
we buy that story.
I'll drink to that.
That's
Oh,
what
no,
we'll
I'll
buy
let
that.
I'll drink to that.
Cheers,
I
brother.
sit-
Cheers to
Cheers,
that.
there
I've
you
been
go.
usually close to my mom's.
I sit on the bathroom floor while she shits. I mean, I like talked to her in the shower.
Where was you?
So stop now. Stop right now.
AfterBuzz exclusive.
You know what I want to see? I want to see a Priscilla and Priscilla's mom show.
Yeah.
I would love to actually see that.
Yeah.
But no. I'm sorry because I think the other roommate should have been your aunt. That was feeling Nate down his pants.
She was all
and
about
then
it.
ended up
Two aunts
upstairs.
I don't
and
know
had a threesome.
what she did.
With a married couple?
I don't
Swingers.
You can't, your mom came downstairs. She was crying. She was like, Frank, eres mi santa.
What? My
She was
mom
like,
was
she was like,
Santa's little
she was
helper.
like, hey.
my family does it though. They like get drunk and like they kiss people.
I want to come
and,
over this
like, I
weekend.
do
What y'all
that.
doing? What y'all got
And
going?
you know what
Nehemiah,
her
you wanna
uncle
come?
said? You know
I'm there.
We coming this weekend. Me and
there.
Nehemiah
And
coming
my
for
mom's
Can we
like
party
Sunday
flashing
fun day at your
people,
house.
And like my 11-year-old brother's like carrying me and my mom up the stairs. I'm like, Jordan, I'm sorry.
At the end of the barbecue, as we're leaving, I say bye to her uncle, and he goes, "This was a tame night for the family." And I was just like, what is normal then?
Wow.
But the funny thing is when you
Shooting off
watch the
nuts.
original episode with the barbecue, it looks really family friendly.
And then we soon see.
I want to party with
Listen,
y'all. for real.
Listen,
You should.
it doesn't take much to freak me out. I mean, come on. I was sitting with Zack and Ashley of all people at that point. I was sitting with them on the side of the pool being like, what the fuck is going on? I was freaked the fuck
Everyone
out.
was
Really?
planning on being like formal and like, oh, it's grandma's house. Let's
Zach
be
and Ash
sweet.
were cheering it on.
Your
of all
grandma
people.
was doing shots, wasn't she? Or your
Yeah.
granddad?
Yeah,
She was
all
forcing Nate
great-grandpa.
to take shot for shot with her.
Her great grand.
My great grandpa was
Was,
too.
like,
I'm gonna
bringing
see
them
him
out.
at Christmas.
Wow.
That was the first day I couldn't drink either.
Sounds like a dream.
Bad day.
You would
Bad
have. It
day.
would have been.
So we need to definitely we need to whatever
Sunday
you guys
fun day
doing,
at your house.
Yeah.
Saturday fun day.
Saturday
It's Priscilla's
and
birthday
Sunday.
party.
We're going
AfterBuzz.
Saturday.
Let's do it.
Birthday party.
Saturday, Priscilla's birthday party.
We'll have an
Wanna
AfterBuzz
come?
TV
20.
exclusive for you.
I'm there.
Oh god.
That sounded
I'll
real
DJ.
creepy. That sounded real. Are you coming? Are you coming to Priscilla's party? Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Everyone bring your sexy voices. All right, so Priscilla, on top of that, going back to the makeout with Sam, your mom, you and Sam were actually really close.
Yeah, I
As
really
friends in
like.
the house?
I really liked Sam because I mean,
Cuddled
even-
every night.
We cuddled for
Did
like
you guys
3
have-
weeks.
How many
straight.
makeouts did you guys have?
Did you guys
Only
make
a,
out?
Only a few. Like.
Did you really? No.
Only a
Be
few.
honest.
No, I made out with her twice in Cabo.
She never
Was
tried
that
to.
it?
She never tried to eat your
I made out with her
basket.
another time. With my mom.
Eat your basket.
She
then
never
I-
tried to Easter your
Easter
basket.
basket. She never tried to Easter
I
basket.
think I like.
Yo, real quick, all jokes aside, I was the first one to say this. Doesn't Sam look just like Dustin from my season?
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole
They got those eyes.
Dustin.
They usually get people who look alike.
Yeah.
It actually is Dustin.
Did Sam do gay porn?
It actually is Dustin, and he just
when-
wanted
That would be straight
to
porn
try and
to
hook
her.
up with more girls.
Sam did straight porn. Yo, let's clear the air for Dustin Zito. He did straight porn. It's fine.
And Heather would probably hook up with Sam too.
No, she would.
Well, so
She
what was
would.
your no,
Yeah,
what
she
was
would.
your link as far as Sam?
With
What brought
Sam?
you two?
Yeah, because I
Friend-wise.
mean, I feel like I mean, I've been exposed to a lot in general, but I think with Sam, I hadn't actually like been around or been friends with a lesbian at all. So from day one, I was like, wow, I was like fascinated by her. Like, tell me about yourself. Like, at first I thought she was a boy, and then I hung her. I'm like, oh, okay, you're not a boy. But I think it was cool because she was so just as a person is so comfortable with herself that I wondered why am I insecure about anything at all.
Right.
And something with Sam is that I could literally ask her any question I had about lesbians or what. She taught me a few sex moves too, and I
Like
would just
Tim Anderson.
To Manderson.
Priscilla
Face-sitting.
Priscilla learned how to make a boy go down on her from Sam.
How?
Yeah,
When
she
she
did.
sit down?
She's like, I'm gonna sit on
Did you
Dylan's
start
face.
like
I'm gonna rat him out. I'm
raising
gonna
your
rat
leg
him out.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Shit, why don't you
You
share
start
with us?
kissing
Priscilla scissored Dylan because of Sam.
Is that
Priscilla and Dylan were like, yeah, get it, yeah.
Priscilla loved it, and Dylan was like, "What?"
Yeah.
so I like that.
My redhead never
See,
seen
'cause
this.
Men,
Oh, so-
men, we just
so
do
wait.
like the
Never
kind of like.
judgmental.
So
We just try to
Sam,
like.
Sam made you more
We just kind of like try
That's
to
what
lean
Priscilla
out,
did to
like-
Dylan.
Is that what you
I'm
did?
sorry, I
No,
can't hear you.
no, she said
Is that what you learned?
you said Sam made
They
you
were
more
like-
secure about yourself.
Yeah, and she was always
So
really.
you're no
really
longer
open.
embarrassed of that 6 toe you got.
Whoa, you're going there?
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah, my feet suck. I have the ugliest toes in the world.
You
All
have
right.
6 toes?
No, I don't. I really don't.
Priscilla, though, you made out with the most roommates, though, right? You made out with almost all the most roommates, right?
Yeah.
You, Sam, Nate.
All right, and
Your
Ash?
mom.
No, real quick. Jesse, I think this is a good question. this is your first time here on AfterBuzz, and everybody is saying that they think that Zack is gay. Do you feel the same way?
That's exactly where we're going.
Zack is the most effeminate man I've ever met who's not gay.
No, but everybody else in here is saying that I don't think that he's gay.
Priscilla, let it out. Do it. What do you think?
Priscilla,
when I don't think he's gay.
Okay, that's what we want. I want to
Why? I think it's weird that he shaves his legs and that he like moisturizes and shit. But I mean, if you can teach me a thing or two,
females' underwear.
He watched me wipe, Priscilla.
Ew.
And
Oh my god, really?
Wipe what?
My nose.
Oh.
Well, speaking of wiping, we'll get back to Priscilla. Frank,
Who watched me wipe my
what
nose?
the heck was MTV talking about? How does anyone know how you wipe yourself?
Because
really
apparently
confused.
Zach was watching it.
You can
Did you
see
see
through
that
the
there was only
glass.
2 people commenting on it?
Right.
Me and Zach.
In our bathrooms, you can see through the glass in the stalls.
You like walk through the
You can,
hallway
like
and
watch
there's a window.
people.
So-
Yeah, you can see kind of like an outline as they're doing their business.
And so, how did you learn how to wipe like this?
Okay, my mom wiped my ass till I was 8 years old. Okay, I'll show you. I'll give you an after-buzz.
Whoa.
It's like a little bit like. Oh. You all right, Leroy?
He was
You all right?
8?
Yeah. I used to be like, I'm done, and my mom like, and people would come over and be like, what is he talking about? He's done. What is he talking about? But no, I just do like a lot like this. This
He
is
has
what I
to
do.
stand
I have
up
to
to
stand up to
wipe.
do it. Okay? I can't just lean
Normal
and do
people
it.
just lean a little.
I can't do that. I'm sorry.
Hold on, so you stand all the way up.
I stand all the way up.
back
Yeah,
to
I
front.
do that.
Always?
I wipe
Yeah.
back to front too.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I stuff kicked up on your
But
balls
that's
like
why the
that.
underside
That's
of
why
your
my nuts
balls
smell the way they smell. Huh? There we go. Another AfterBuzz exclusive.
Oh my
Won't that
God.
make the underside of your balls smell funny?
That's what Leroy just said.
Girls
Yeah.
can't wipe back to front. You gotta
No.
use to.
What did I say on the show? You're best friends with somebody you want to smell their balls.
True.
Now I know that Leroy and I have similar smelling
But
balls.
if I wipe back to front, I'd get like poo in my.
That's what
And
I
your-
said.
and
You
your
can't do it.
Poo in your.
That's
I never
right,
found
yeah.
that there,
Back
baby
to
girl.
front.
Oh, God. Yeah,
Don't act like I never saw
AfterBuzz
that. Don't act like I
exclusive.
never saw
Life-
that.
Life after the real world.
Life after the real world. Don't act like I never saw that.
I've been
This is
drunk
the
too much
first
since.
day. This is the first day in my 26 years of existence I've actually thought about how I wipe.
And how do you wipe, sir?
Front to back or is it back?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I'll tell you later.
I went.
Normal people go front to back.
Yeah.
They
Wow.
go front to back, so it's
Yeah.
like.
No.
You got back to front on this side. You
Oh,
go.
you gotta lean
left.
up. Oh,
It's like,
okay.
oh,
Like
okay.
from the front boot.
Agree to disagree on that
All
one.
right, yes,
Anybody
we
ever
will.
smoke on the toilet? And you just be like.
So Alex, I want to shoot to you when you said
Yes.
when you said bye to the household.
Yeah.
You know, Byron came.
Mm-hmm.
What were your
Hey,
feelings?
Hey, watch yourself.
Hey,
You
he's
respect me,
watching.
respect my shit.
Yeah.
Respect her
Byron.
shit.
Respect your shit. You don't respect the way I wipe.
So Byron came and picked you up. What were your
Uh-huh.
feelings? Were you excited that you were leaving the house to spend time with Byron, or
It was a lot of everything. I was happy that I was going to get to see Byron more often, and one of my favorite things to do is cuddle at night. So I was like, finally, I have someone to hold on to again. But I was really sad to be leaving the house. It was a vacation, you know? Who wants to leave a 3-month vacation where everything was taken care of? Everything was, really, you know? Like,
Rent free.
not taxis and stuff like that, but rent was taken care of. We got to go to Mexico. We got to do all these amazing things for free, and it was really a great time. So I was sad to leave, but I was happy to, you know, to go back home and sleep comfortably. But the weird thing is when I got home, I was so used to being like mic'd with people around.
You get to looking over your shoulder like
The
this.
first night I
yeah.
woke up so
Whispering.
sweaty. I woke up so sweaty the first night home, and I was like, "Where are they?" And Byron's like, "Who?" I was like, "Them." And he's just like, "You are crazy."
I
And I
couldn't
was like
sleep
that
alone.
for like
it
a
was so
month.
weird.
Yeah.
When I slept alone for the first night, it was just like, what?
It was
Is
so
Is
weird.
nobody
sad.
nobody's gonna come in
And when
here?
you start saying something interesting, you turn around. You're like, "Is someone?" No,
No.
no one's here.
Not only that, but like we
No
get
one
home
cares.
after like months of not having like TV and internet and phone, all this stuff, and I get home and there's a blackout for like 5 hours. I'm like, this sucks.
Oh,
What are you guys doing over there?
Nehemiah
Flirting.
is the biggest fool ever.
What did you say?
He
Well,
always makes me, because I talk with my hands, okay?
You
and I
know,
always go like this.
you
So
know,
makes
you
sense.
ghetto.
You are a black
Look
girl.
at the way
She's a
you
black
walk.
girl.
You
Oh, no.
ghetto. Come
No, I
on,
talk with
listen
my
to how
hands,
you
and
talk.
So he said,
You ghetto.
Stupid.
Look at the clothes you wear.
What are you saying?
I don't know.
all right. Okay. So while we were watching the actual show, Frank, you made a comment that Zack and Ashley were on a podcast recently, and the entire podcast, all they did was talk shit about you.
Yeah.
What did they have to say?
Really? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was just about how much they didn't like me, how much like I forced my views on them, how much I caused a divide in the house, things like that. It's all bullshit.
Now,
I mean,
Yeah.
it you know, they included me on a group text the morning before that, they were like, "Oh my God, we love you, jack me off," and then they go ahead and do that. It's bullshit. You can't trust them for 2 seconds.
That's what frustrates me the most about them is it wasn't stuff in the house because I thought I got along with them. At least I tried, and you guys know I defended them a lot in the house. But it was more coming out and then hearing them talk so much crap about me, you, Priscilla, everyone, and I was like, wait, maybe they're upset with you, but then what right do they have to be talking about us?
Yeah. Here's my final.
Where we were so kind to them all summer, and that's where I kind of.
My final word on Zack and Ashley is Zack and I are not meant to get along. We have a lot of different views. I think that we're like when it comes down to it, we have similar backgrounds and we could get along, but because of both of our stubborn heads and things like that, we're never going to get along. Ashley, I've defended to this day, and I'll continue to defend her. I think that there's a lot that we have in common and we could get along. I just need her to drop her fucking act. It's and that's all I need. And I ask her of that all the time. And sneak preview for the reunion, I'll give her shit, and we'll see if it ever comes out.
To this day, is it still like segregated with y'all? Just 5?
Yeah,
and
it's really unfortunate too because they act like they're older, both of them, than all of us, and still they're
by years,
and they're like children being like, oh, you
they're
guys
24 and 25.
Oh, okay.
The oldest one of us is 22.
Really?
They'll say, oh, you like Frank, so we don't like you, and it's like they might have been against him or something or whatever they had, but then if they say things about us, they're like, oh, well, you associate yourselves with him, and so we don't want to.
But then Ashley gets upset when people associate her with Zach's opinions, and it's just
do you guys honestly think
that?
Do you guys honestly think that they are in love with each other? I mean, Ashley wrote Zach a card telling him that she loves him.
No.
So who loves who more? Who love who? All
right, well, I'll be here. I mean, I'm not going to be here for the reunion, so I'll say what I got to say.
All right, go ahead.
When I was after the reunion, we have a party. Leroy and Nehemiah, you know about this. After the reunion, we have a party.
The pants party.
Yeah, the pants party. Exactly.
The party where everyone
at
gets
MTV.com.
really drunk.
After a few Jaeger bombs, we get Ashley in there crying to me about how Zach's not a good boyfriend, about how she appreciates that I defend her to Nate, about all that stuff.
Even at the reunion, Zach admit that he yells at her a lot.
And it's just,
it's
unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Like, I say bad things to her in private. You're like, you're a douchebag.
Because like I just said, I hold out to today that I think Ashley's a good girl. I think she needs to come to a lot of realization with herself, and I think she needs to boost her self-confidence. And when she does, I think she'll be a great girl, and I think that we'll all get along with her. Zach has a lot of issues. I think that the dudes in the house had the most issues. I think the girls were put in the house to deal with the guys' issues. I think Nate is literally insane. We've seen it. He pulls out his toenails. He's actually insane. I am 100% bipolar.
Gross.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that. Go dig in a little bit more about yourself. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I'm absolutely bipolar. My mood swing. Leroy, you can suck my dick. And then Jesse, that was for you, not Leroy. I'm so sorry about that. And then
oh my God.
And then Zack has anger issues. Zack has anger issues that no one can ever come close to.
And the thing that was so frustrating was his main argument for not liking you is he thinks you don't act like a gentleman, But then at the same time, you see him yelling at women on a regular basis. He even threw a chair at one of our producers, a female producer, at one point. Like,
are you serious?
For what?
Like,
why would he do that?
He was just upset at an after show. Yeah, and I feel like a gentleman doesn't do that either. So that's where I don't get it. I don't get when someone says, I don't like Frank because he's not a gentleman, but then goes and throws a chair at a woman. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Y'all look so happy together right there, too.
Look, I'm even leaning on his shoulder.
That was like fairly early on. That was like a month and a half.
I got along with them this summer.
I was just like, look at me.
Do you guys still talk to Nate and Sam? Are you guys still really close with them? Do they live around here at all?
Sam lives in Virginia. I wish I got to talk to her more. I'm sad that she's not coming to my birthday.
I talked to her today.
I like her a lot though.
Yeah.
Nate, he's kind of in his own world right now. He's doing his own thing, so it's hard to get a hold of him.
Nate's a great guy, but this went to his head a lot, and so he needs to come back down to earth.
Is he still working on his charity at all?
Mm-hmm.
He's working on it. I'd like to see anything come to fruition, but he's working on it.
As a matter of fact, I'm wearing one of Nate's watches right here.
That's not his watch.
Flex.
That's a watch that he promoted on the show.
Flex Watch by Nate Alexander. That's his name, right?
Nah.
I didn't even know yet.
I'll give it another try.
By Nathan.
Yeah, there you go. Nathan Stacho, yeah.
Nathan's Hot
It's got a
Dogs.
signature on the back.
Yeah, but he gave me this 2 days
He gave everyone
ago.
a watch.
That must be legit then if he gave it to you.
And autographed it.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So Priscilla, you've made out with most of the people in the house. Who's the best kisser?
It's true. Oh, damn it. putting me on the spot.
Don't lie. We all know.
Don't lie. It's fine. I'm not
Don't
gonna
lie.
get offended.
Sometimes I get drunk and I make out with Frank, and that's because Frank's a really awesome kisser. And it just happens.
And now, who also has the most game in the house?
I still think Sam does.
I'm gonna fight you on this one because I think I have the most game. I just didn't practice it this
she
summer.
just didn't use it. Yeah.
Why is
And
that?
I won't fight you on it. I just know that I have the most game in the house, so it's fine.
Because well, okay, I guess they did ask me between Nate and Sam. You do too, but I just think Sam's surprised me because Sam would bring home like straight girls, married
Priscilla,
girls.
you're
Did Sam hook up with any girls while she was
You're
there?
so cute, Priscilla. What's going on over there? How you doing?
What?
Did Sam hook up with any girls this season?
With
Oh
you.
yeah,
She did.
They didn't show her bringing them back, but they showed her approaching them.
Sam
giving
would
the
approach
number.
anybody.
Was she
like,
bringing?
Sam's
Did she
not
bring
a-
girls home and hook up with them?
No, Sam was a makeout slut.
Yeah.
Oh.
make it.
Oh,
Sam was actually in love, I think, for
Over
a
the
lot
summer,
of the
yeah.
summer.
Oh, she had a little.
With a tequila shot.
I didn't know how to say it. You got a girlfriend.
She had a boo. I think Sam's great though. I think when it comes to girls, she deserves the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now notice that there weren't many Ashley clips in the shit they should have showed episode.
At all, none really.
She
There's
keeps
none.
her shit
There were
tight
none.
together.
She
Her
doesn't
shit is so tight. Did you know that? It's like
She gets
unbelievably tight.
constipated, like she can't poo, or because she doesn't eat.
So
She has not
was
been
she
wet
just,
in
like,
years.
Was she boring? Like at least Zach gave you guys some sort of like
Bullshit.
fight.
He gave us something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Was Ashley just like white bread? Like just
What?
just boring.
Why did you
Yeah,
say that?
that's how I feel about. That's how I feel about white bread too.
It's just
What?
boring.
You ain't nothing but white born bread.
Leroy.
She's like, oh my God, don't talk to me like that. Shut up.
Leroy, stop.
White born bread, you are.
Hey guys, he's just a
I love
character.
bacon. I love bacon.
He's
I love
just a
bacon.
character. He doesn't.
But I don't eat.
That's an inside joke.
He's just in character. I don't like it when you're in character.
That was my real laugh, but
So we're just gonna go with she was boring.
you know what? I think she's actually probably a lot of fun at home.
She's probably a lot of fun.
She
at
was
home.
all
Her-
fun for all of like 3 minutes before she realized.
The
that
first
she
day-
Yo, she was
The
in the
first-
shower with us
Yeah.
with her
First
top
day,
off.
she
she's
wanted to go
conservative.
skinny dipping. That was her idea.
She
Well, that
wanted
was
gay
probably
friends.
before she was with.
On everything I love, man, I will get tweets, people saying, do you wish you were on the Real World? I really do wish I was on y'all season.
Why is
Like,
that?
I mean, any season. I wouldn't want to, like, my season was fun, but, like, I felt like I could have, like, had a good time with y'all, you know?
Like if you were to be in a different one.
You know why else I would love for you to have been on this season, Leroy? Because I would have loved for you to have tried to
Hook up with Zack.
hook up. No. To just be the wedge.
Not over me.
Just be the wedge between Ashley and Zach.
Yeah.
That would have been very interesting.
Yeah, you would've
Because
gotten,
Alex,
like-
what did Ashley say in her casting video about black dudes? Do you remember that?
I didn't. You're the one who heard that. I didn't.
Oh yeah, my
You heard a
psychi-
lot of
What'd
things
she
about the
say?
casting.
Yeah, because I had the psychiatrist on the end. She was like, "I love to rail out black dudes," and then when
Rail
her friend came,
Oh my
she was like,
God.
"Ashley's so different. Zach's the wrong color."
Oh, so she
Shut
liked
up.
black.
The first day she told me she like only dated black guys.
Okay, well then you have a little insight
I didn't know
on it.
about the tape though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
and
got a
her,
sex
and her
tape?
friend was even saying
Yeah, I
like
got a sex tape, yeah.
her friend was even saying like this is not Ashley, like she's not like this, she's really so wild and like so
Word.
fun.
Really?
Hey,
Let me send
hold
her-
on. Wait, what's her Twitter?
Yeah.
What's up, Ashley? She gonna read it like that.
She's
That's
gonna
what
be like, "LOL."
that's what the tweet gonna sound like as it's coming through. Ashley, what's up? It's your boy Ron Lee. Trying to see what's good. That's how I spell good. Ashley, what's good.
All right. So we gotta start to think about wrapping up. But before we do, I want to go around the table. What has this experience done for you? What have you learned from it? Let's start with you, Priscilla. What are you doing now? Like,
I feel-
like after this experience.
I am packing up my stuff and getting ready to go back to school in 2 weeks. So
And what are you studying in school?
I'm pre-med right now, and
Okay.
so I'm a junior there. I still have like a long
Imagine if
time
she
left
was
to
your
go.
doctor. If she walked in and was like,
OBGYN?
"Let me check."
Right?
And
Is it OBGYN?
Or
anesthesiology.
BYOB. You gonna be a BYOB doctor?
On your MOM.
No, but I think what's crazy is like I am 19 and I'm from San Diego, and I feel like both of those were working so strongly against me. And being 19, well, almost 20, I'll be 20, but I just feel like I am like 20 going on 25 or something. I just have given myself such an opportunity to actually have a summer to myself to think and learn and grow and really, really expand outside of myself more than like.
That's a good story. You should tell it at parties.
Do you feel like, at first, did you ever feel like, oh, shoot, I signed up for the real world and they're making me do it in my hometown?
Yeah.
Or did you see your town in a whole new light with the real world?
No, I mean, I was a little disappointed. I'm just like, wait, really? But it's such a cool opportunity that I was still like, this was completely different than anything I've known of San Diego.
So would you have, in looking back at the experience, say to yourself, "Wow, I wish I was 21"? Do you feel you missed out on anything?
Of course, I wish I was 21. It would have been awesome. But I also knew what I was getting into.
I can only dress you one night.
Well, and so,
imagine if Alex had to dress me every night.
What made you sign up at such a young age?
I mean, I don't. No, I just felt like this is so cool. This
you
is
were 19.
Awesome.
We also thought that she could drink because every real world up to now.
I was never under the impression
19,
that I could.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was the same age as me.
Every real world up to now, they could have a fake ID and they could
at that
drink.
age? I feel like at 19, everyone would want.
That's
to
the age to do it. If you're 24, you're too old.
Hey, man, I was 25 when I did the show.
Yeah, you was
But
too
you're black.
old.
You look 19.
Ah, right on. That's what
And
it
you
is.
act.
All right now. All right now.
Oh shit!
I don't think I would have said no just because it was in my hometown or just because I couldn't drink. Would it be a different experience had I been 21? Absolutely. But I love everything I got out of it.
All right, and where can we find you? Where can we follow you? Where can we keep
Oh
up
my
with what
God, I'll
Priscilla's
be in
doing?
Sacramento.
She's like, my address is.
I know
Follow the snail trail.
my Twitter is @PrisMTV.
@PrisMTV. Let's move over to Alex.
Yeah.
Them little baby hairs. I
Yo,
love the baby
girl.
hairs right there. That's so
Alex,
cute.
I heard you released
you're
a new video on YouTube.
I did. I put a new song on YouTube up today. So
What's it called?
It's called "The Rest Ain't You,"
The rest.
and it's pretty. Yeah.
Now
But
you're gonna be
it's
here
catchy.
for.
No, it's not pretty. It's vengeful. I love it. It's good.
There's
It's
curse
sad.
words.
It's pretty sad, but it's about missing somebody. But yeah, I mean, what I'm up to now, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
I am putting new songs on YouTube all the time, working on
Which
recording.
next week we're going to hopefully get a live studio
Yeah,
performance.
I will
which you
most
promised
definitely do
this
it.
week.
I'll most
Next
definitely do
week.
it. I'll actually come with the guitar and everything
Alright.
like that.
You heard it.
But yeah, I'm putting new songs up on YouTube. I'm working on recording some MP3s so I can actually have them on iTunes for people to buy. I'm working on this documentary that I've been talking about every time I come in about homeless musicians.
Keep talking about it.
Yeah. And it's cool because on the last episode, you actually saw kind of part of what inspired that when we went out to Ocean Beach and handed food out to homeless
I want to
Subway
feed.
out.
Listen, real
Which-
talk. I said this last week.
Yeah.
I want to feed the homeless with
Let's
you.
do it. We can do it. You
I
want to do it
called
next
you
weekend?
last night, and you was telling some I can't
You
come
called
over.
me
because
at
it was
1
too-
a.m.
You said it was too late for me to come over. I was like, I wanted to feed some.
Right. 1 a.m.
You wanted to feed
I'm coming
something.
You want to
over.
feed something.
You wanted to feed a snake.
Someone was hungry.
You want to
No,
find,
really.
you
wanted
want
me
to
to
find that
feed you.
snail trail.
All jokes aside, real talk,
Yeah.
we really need to do
Let's
that.
do it. All of you guys, if you want. So
Yeah.
we can. But
And
Out now.
also, I'm putting this out there. Subway,
Nicolette's like, no, thank
Subway,
you.
give this girl a damn
I
commercial.
saw that. I saw that.
other than that,
Where can we find you? Do you have? I believe you have a website, don't you?
yeah. Well, you can go to my Twitter, twitter.com/AlexGovere. Or you can find me on YouTube. You can find all the links from my Twitter page, actually. But then other than that, I have a job interview coming up to host a TV
boom,
show
boom.
for young women. And that's pretty much
Alright.
my dream job. It's. I think what it's going to be is kind of like The View, but for
You're gonna
like
get
a
it.
younger demographic. I really hope I
Absolutely.
get
No,
it.
she
You
hit me
will.
up. I was like, yo, you gonna get it. I gave you my
I
blessing.
hope so. I hope so. But and I mean that's kind of that, you gave me my blessing at 1 a.m.
No, remember the other day when you told me about the show, I was like, yo, you're gonna get this shit. This is a true story.
Oh my God.
Remember I texted you and I was like, yo, you're gonna get the show.
You're gonna get the show, but first.
No, that was not like, don't
If you
even
want the
try.
show,
First,
you gotta pray to
We
the
can film
You
God.
want the show, look at
girl,
another
and
show,
if you
baby
don't
girl.
get the show, you can come over and we can make our own show.
Nah, I ain't say nothing like that.
I was
Kids,
next to him. I
it's
was
kids
right next
watching.
to him.
Hey,
I was
people
right
at home, I
next
swear
to
to
him
God,
when
mama, I ain't
he
never
did.
said nothing like that.
He did. And then he was
Not
like,
out
hey.
loud.
All right,
But yeah, that's
so
what I'm
Frank,
working on.
All right, Frank, what do you got going on?
What do I have going on? I'm building a new website right now. It's for LGBT youth, and it's just a place. It's a forum for talking about questioning your sexuality. It's called Clearing the Closet. I'm
so
not gonna
happy
give the
you're doing
domain
it.
yet because I gotta work on it a little bit. I'm teaching myself how to write HTML right now
How will we be able to find out when this is being released?
because I will be tweeting it. I'll be personally blogging it, and it'll be on my Facebook. Absolutely,
Tag
'cause
me
I'm
in
really
it, man.
excited
I'll
about
Can
it.
I just
retweet
say how
that.
happy I am that you're doing that? Very.
What is it
Yeah.
called? Clearing out the closet?
It's called Clearing the Closet. Yeah. Yeah.
I got a couple things in my closet I wanted to throw out.
Yeah, that's what it's about, actually. No, for real. It's not about just gay and straight stuff.
No,
it's just about like talking about what's going on,
And
what
even
like
we
where you're
about,
at.
What we talked about earlier, it's even going to be about just if you are straight, but support people coming out of the closet, or support people who live a different lifestyle.
I support no matter what your
And
sexual preference is. You know what I mean? Come on out.
It's about coming out about anything. It's
You
about
come out the closet, I got a big hug to give you. Just don't grab my ass. I'm joking.
Leroy, what do you got going on?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, that's real sexy. Do that again. Like, go ahead, yeah. Now,
Hey, Zach, you jealous? What up, boy?
Hair.
Oh my God, Zach went to grab your ass.
Would it?
Oh, well, I thought he wasn't gay, Priscilla. Tell the truth.
Doesn't say he wouldn't like to.
Oh, okay.
Y'all can definitely follow me on Twitter, Roy Lee. Actually, just go to LeroyGarrett.com. Me and her are definitely going to do something right before the holiday because I'm going to be celebrating the holiday here in L.A.
We should.
Because I ain't got no family, so it should just be
I'm,
me.
I'm going to be here too.
We should
Yeah.
make a family.
I'm all
girl.
alone.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Well, so Leroy, if someone's thinking about a present to give for this winter, what should they give out?
Give him a jacket when he went his trash out.
I'm gonna do all your
He
promotions.
said,
for you.
give them a jacket when they trash route. You know what? Actually, you know what? Get a trash man some Gatorade, man. We definitely would appreciate that.
Because they're hungover as shit when they're getting their trash out.
No,
need a
really.
Gatorade.
No, really, man. Like, look out for the garbage man because, I still am a garbage man. I still am a garbage man. But
That's the
most
hottest
definitely,
thing about you.
thank you.
Alex about to slide off her chair.
I
Give me
was,
a kiss.
I was gonna
Stop
say
it.
something more along the lines of get a T-shirt from your website.
True.
Yes, all my links is on LeroyGarrett.com. You go there, you get my T-shirts, the Ustream, the Facebook, the whole nine. Actually, I got some lean body T-shirts that's about to drop by the first of the year. Since everybody trying to get back in the gym, so I'm gonna have y'all wearing those. Little baby wife beaters for the babies, just trying to work out with the little the pacifier, all that.
You know
yeah.
what? After you buy a brand new Leroy T-shirt, take an old one you have and donate it to charity. Thanks.
Ah,
And then buy a bandana from Clearing the Closet. Yeah,
There you go.
exactly.
Nice, look at that.
Nice try.
We got your whole wardrobe.
Teamwork. All right, Nehemiah. I heard you had something big happen this past weekend.
Check.
What's
this
going
weekend.
Well, mainly just I just got the new album coming out soon. I just got a booking agreement with Polynesian Underground, who's going to be doing like most of my gigs.
Oh, that's great.
We're traveling around the world. So new album, DJ booking gig, website NehemiahClark.com. You guys will get to see
The video.
The video, music video. I just
Yeah.
shot a
Yeah.
music video.
Whoa.
Right. I got my man.
I did a
Roy
cameo.
Lee. He did his little Denzel
Were you
Washington
shirtless?
cameo.
Nah, 90
You know what I'm
days
saying?
sober. That's another thing that I'm pushing is 90 days sober. Don't mean to cut you off,
No, it's
Nehemiah,
good for
but
you. It was good for you.
yeah.
He needed it.
yeah.
He needed it. We started seeing a different Roy Lee.
It
Yep.
feels really good.
I've been
not
90
to drink,
seconds
too.
sober and it feels real good.
Yeah.
There's almost being sober is almost better than an orgasm.
I would disagree, but
Yeah.
cheers.
So Nehemiah, where can we find that video?
The video is going to be up soon on YouTube, but you can also check out NehemiahClark.com. On there, I'm going to have live DJ sets every single week. I'm going to have a sketch comedy every single week, a new song every single week. So there's going to be like
Working.
all day.
Y'all need to do a song
all
together.
day.
I know. I want
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
That'd be
Really?
fun.
Because you
I'm
can really
trying.
sing. You really do got a good voice.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You got to hear her on the new track. She sounds so
She's
good.
Oh,
She's good.
thanks.
Bet. All right, and Nicolette, you were rocking it out last night with Jay-Z and Kanye West.
Oh,
what do you
yeah.
got going on, girl?
Oh, you was at the Watch the Phone?
Yeah.
The Watch the
How
Phone?
was the throne? Did it
And
look
she was
good?
also
couldn't
filming the
come,
video.
Did you watch the throne or sit on the throne?
Oh, I was
Both.
jumping on the throne. I was
Ooh.
like,
Rag City, bitch.
She's like Rag City, bitch.
Yeah.
All right, and where can we follow you, Nicolette?
Oh, y'all already know Nicolette Gaona on Twitter.
All right.
All right. Grab it out there and put it in their face.
And you guys can hit me up at DJ Jesse J on Twitter. But before we go,
Y'all
Priscilla.
don't see Jesse all the time, but he's hot.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I'll keep my
Hiding
mouth
behind
shut.
that glass.
Before we leave, Priscilla, we didn't welcome you the
I
way we
know.
normally welcome everybody here because my computer was acting up. So
Everyone
on
who
this
comes
note,
here
I
has to
want
get
to thank
naked and dance on the table.
Well, that too. So I need a Priscilla. I'm
We all
gonna
did.
need a little Statue of Liberty right now. And to that, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for joining us
Freedom,
Yeah.
America.
here at the Real World AfterBuzz TV
Shout out to my
After Show.
homegirl Jessica, Las Vegas, Mario. All my people's back at the crib, Roy Lee 25. Follow me on Twitter, Lean Body B.
All right, we'll see you guys next week with the reunion.
Later.
Go let him man's last king killing shit. Young money, yeah, we getting rich.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janedy, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
See you later.
See you later.
Just paint on the card. Too much rim make the ride too hard.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.